Okay, so here we have the leg installment of the push-pull legs rest split. Starting off with adduction here. This one's just helping to stabilize the knee. It's often neglected, the adductor muscles, so it's good to get it out of the way and done. I do these ones pretty frequently. Moving over to leg extensions now. Same sort of theory here, although you're also getting that mind-muscle connection to the quad. I try to do these ones with less of an ego emphasis, so nice and slow, trying to hold the lockout in the transition and then moving down. For that reason, I can't use a lot of weight. It is a shearing force on the knee, so if you do go ham on that one, it'll actually probably hurt you more in the long run than fix you. I usually do my calf raises, well, a variation of calf raises superset with leg press. And what that enables me to do is just sort of save time. I try to make the leg press as hard and difficult as possible by taking my heels just off the plate here and lowering it slow and controlled. It can really become an ego exercise where you're just shifting weight, but the reality is no one cares what you leg press. They want to know what you squat. So if you do want to have a brag about how strong you are, squat big weights, you know. Otherwise, if you're trying to develop quads and leg size, that's just what you got to do. You'll notice I did some stretching there between. Find stretching really effective to one, connect with the muscle better, but also allow for better blood flow. So you're stretching out all sorts of tissues, and that would just allow for greater connection, I feel. Moving over to hamstring curl now, lying hamstrings. Again, this is one of those ones that you can really sort of miss the boat on if you do too fast. You've really got to push into the hurt locker here and the pain cave, so to speak, which you can see that I did, sort of limping off. I sort of had a little bit of a love affair with this to begin with and then fell out of love with it. But back on the hip press now, using this one unilaterally. And I'm actually going with a double set in this case. So a double set is where you have a cluster of reps, you move over to the opposing leg, and then you do another cluster of reps, and then move back to the original leg for the same amount, if not, go for broke. You can also do what's called a double set. And it's the same sort of thing. Instead of doing it twice, you'll do it three times. It's just a way to push past maybe where your limitations are. You might only be able to do like a set of 10 usually with this weight, but if you did a cluster set of six, or a double set, sorry, of two groupings of six, you've now essentially hit 12 reps, and you can see I'm absolutely cooked after that. It was a real ball buster. Another variation for the calves. Now, I think realistically for me, I'm never going to have massive calves, but I can certainly have them look a bit more defined and even, and yeah, just really send it so it's shaking like a leaf here. With the hack squat, I think it's one of those love hate exercises, and you've just got to make it work for you. So again, just like the humble brag of the leg press, I use so many plates, blah blah blah. Do what works for you. So I had the reverse band on that one. This one is abduction now. So looking at sort of like glutes. It's a fairly easy one. I don't really have the range to push myself any further than that, so I do use a band and then move quickly into this single-legged glute press. I think it's a glute kickback or something. Anyway, building the peach, as you can see. Probably going to need a band on this one because I'm up to about 20 reps for this weight, and I wouldn't say they're shitty reps. They're quite quality. Finishing up now, moving on to unilateral kneeling leg curl. I do really like this one for the isolation that you can contract and really feel each individual leg. You often have one side that's more dominant than the other. So right hand is usually right hand dominant with, well, right side dominant with all of their movements. This is just another way to really isolate, and it being an isolation exercise opposed to, say, the hip press, which is a big compound movement. The hamstring has nowhere to hide. So I finish off here always with some seated calf raise. It's pretty vanilla, nothing really to it. It does target a different part of the lower leg, so the soleus predominantly. And I always finish off with stretching.